One of the problems with having a piece of guitar modeling hardware such as a Line 6 Helix that has so many possibilities is that we can sometimes get option paralysis. Which amp model do we use? Which effects should I use? How should I dial it in? And a lot of folks end up, for that reason, not really using a device such as a Helix to its fullest capability. Another sad part about that is sometimes there's some often overlooked amp models that maybe we just don't bother with. Because again, we just get so overwhelmed. We have all of those Marshall style amps and all of those Fender style amps. And a lot of times it's just easier to go to what we know. I'm just going to go to a Marshall Plex here. I'm just going to go to a Fender Twin model. And we just stick with those things because we're familiar with the names. We're familiar with them maybe in real life. But sometimes there are a few sleeper amp models in there that can be overlooked. And I think that's a shame. So today I'm going to look at 3 amp models that maybe we forgot to look at. Now, these are just my opinion on 3 models that I don't hear people talk about maybe as much as they deserve. Again, this is all opinion. I'm not stating that these are the greatest amps in the Helix or the worst amps in the Helix or anything about them other than this is just sort of a PSA to say, hey, maybe give these a try and maybe you'll find something in there that you like. So I'm not going to be doing any dialing in today. This is just more of an awareness style video like I just mentioned. So we're going to pull them up with their stock settings, take a quick listen to them, and I'm going to show you how I have used these 3 particular amps in the past to create presets that I've used a lot on my own, and I'll play you demo videos of full mixes utilizing these amps. So without further ado, let's head over to HX Edit and take a look. All right, so number 1 on my list is going to be the Stone Age 185, which is a model of a very old Gibson EH185 amplifier. Now, this is probably not a really well-known amp in real life. It's fairly unique. It's very old. And I probably ignored this myself for a long time after I had the Helix, but I wanted to dive into it. And when I did, I noticed that this is a killer sounding amp. So I'm playing my Sir Classic T-Telly style guitar today, which may or may not be the best guitar for these amps, but it's what I have. So we're going to see what we can do with it. So when I pull this up just stock, what we have is the Stone Age 185 amp, and it comes up with a 112 Grammatico cabinet with the 67 condenser on the cappage 7 inches back. Now, I always find it funny when I pull these up. These are totally different than how I would kind of set things up, but let's hear what it sounds like. I'm on the middle position, bridge and neck pickup on the Telly. You'll notice also that I have no other processing. All I did is add just a tiny bit of dynamic ambience at the end of the chain, just so this doesn't sound so bone dry. Now, one of the problems might be, I don't really like that right off the bat. And that could be because of the cab, or I think it could just be because of the microphone. This is not what I would have done with a 67 condenser. And especially pulling it back 7 inches. I'm going to actually just do one quick thing here and see if it helps. Instinctively, I would maybe just put that at 1 inch. I think that that's already a lot better. Kind of lacking a little bit on the bottom, which accentuates that graininess on top. Kind of helps to balance it out a bit. But actually what I probably would have done first and foremost is switch this out to something like a 121 ribbon, maybe 3 or 4 inches back. Or maybe a 160 ribbon. And I already find that much better. And we can also come into the amp and just check out the range of what we have going on here. Kind of cleans up nice. Also can get quite nasty, but kind of in an interesting way. Kind of a cool vintage vibe to it for sure. But a lot of possibilities there. So how does this sound if dialed in a manner that I would consider proper. Well, here is the video demo that I originally threw together using my Line 6 Marketplace Stone Age Ultimate preset. And this is a multi-snapshot preset with a full array of effects and dialed in just the way that I like. And this is me doing probably a very bad job at channeling my inner Jeff Beck in this little piece of music I wrote specifically for this. Give it a listen and you can kind of hear what the Stone Age 185 is capable of. All right, back to my next selection for 3 amps that we should maybe try out that maybe we haven't ever given a chance to is the Divided Duo. This amp model is a divided by 13 JRT 915 amp, and what a beautiful versatile amp it is. Just by default, it comes up with these settings. With the 112 open cream cabinet with the 906 dynamic 2 inches back, and it sounds like this just with the stock settings that come up from the factory. Not bad at all. Now, again, I'm not a huge fan of just dynamic mics on amplifiers. Something like this, maybe even something like the 7 dynamic would be a little better. Of all the dynamic mics, I really do enjoy that one. Kind of gives a much nicer bottom end. I'm on the neck pickup there. See, if I stayed on the 906, find that a little bit thin, move to the 7. But again, I would likely just come up to something like 160 ribbon. Still on the bridge pickup, I'll go to the neck. Much nicer on that, I think. How about the 121 ribbon? Really love the 160 when we want something that's just nice and even sounding and balanced. Coming back to the amp controls, let's see what the range is here. We have 2 different drives. Really versatile amp again. Now let's take a listen to my Divided Duo Ultimate preset. Again, this is going to be a multi-snapshot preset available at the Line 6 Marketplace that also features a full array of effects dialed in just the way that I like it. And you can kind of hear what it sounds like in this mix. On to my third and final selection for this video. I'm looking at the Jazz Rivet 120, which is the Roland Jazz Chorus amp. Now, a lot of folks discount this because number one, it's a solid state amp, and number two, it's not really one of those amps that's designed to sound like a broken up tube amp or heavily distorted. It's a very clean amp, and it does that very well. But what a great pedal platform this is. If we call this up just by stock, we have these settings on the amp. We have obviously just a 212 Jazz Rivet cab with the 57 dynamic mic. Again, 1 inch back, not my first choice, but let's give it a listen. I'll go to the neck pickup. Bridge. Kind of thin sounding there. Again, you know, honestly, I would come back up maybe to a 7 dynamic. Kind of just fills things out a little bit. Neck pickup. But again, I might even just come up to something like the 160 ribbon. Now this amp is going to remain pretty clean. Even if I crank that drive, we get a little tiny edge of breakup, but it's really not going to get much more overdriven than that. I don't think that's what really anybody looks to this amp for. If you want a little hair on the sound, and crank that drive up a little bit. We also have a bright control. So really beautiful, pristine cleans. If you're looking for an amp that doesn't really break up much, that's going to stay very clean, this would probably be a really good amp model to look at and a great pedal platform. So at the end of this video, I'm going to play you the full demo video from my Rivet Ultimate preset from the Line 6 Marketplace. Again, a multi-snapshot preset with a full array of effects showing that this amp can be quite versatile. It's a full song that I fairly recently re-recorded with my good friends Marco Miniman on drums and Jason Henry on the bass. And I'll go talk to you on the other camera and we'll end the video with that. If you guys liked what you heard in any of those audio demos today, the links are below to the Line 6 Marketplace. You can grab those presets, and I really do appreciate the support. All right, so there's some food for thought. 3 amp models that I feel some people maybe overlook and don't talk about as much that can have some pretty great tones if we dial those in correctly. Actually, not even so bad when we just pull them up stock. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, the links are below to the 3 Line 6 Marketplace presets I spoke about and played you the audio demos for today. Well, I've played you 2. I'm going to play you the next one in just a second after I say goodbye. And I hope you enjoy listening to the audio demos, and I hope you enjoy the presets if you decide to go grab them. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like the video and share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Ciao for now.